I'll show you like.
To see it from here.
Using an agent. Yeah. The number you're going to negotiate on your buyer's agency and what the buyer would. Because you've already. But you're not allowed. You're not allowed to go. How are you?
All right, we're gonna get started in just a minute. There's a few grabbing food. I want to give them a chance. If you haven't taken our survey that went out this week about events and education topics and things that you would like to have happen in the market center, there's a QR code here. If you scan that QR code, you can take the survey right now. It is anonymous, if that helps. And we're gonna give out a prize at the end for participation, so it might be easy to go ahead and take that survey if you would like.
Yeah, I think that's my.
How do you pick one or if it's anonymous?
Yeah.
Oh, don't you worry. I got this, Jordan. I got this.
You got creative,
Mhm.
or by we, I mean. Did everybody get a picture?
I see Mindy scanning it, Lillian scanning it.
Damaris's phone will be our music. We just realized we should have had music. Damaris got it.
Turn on.
We have Alexa right there, you can just tell them.
Well, yeah, we do. All right, everybody good on the QR code? All right, welcome. Welcome to team meeting, December 2024. Who knew? Who knew? Of course, we have our standard disclosure slide. Please, when you're doing any lead generation, make sure you are doing so in a TCPA compliant manner. For more resources, QR code. We love our QR code. And our team meeting lunch sponsors today are the Cleanup Company and Keller Williams of Central PA. Everybody thank Erin. This was her first lunch she coordinated. Thank you.
You can tell that she spent some time in Texas with the barbecue option for a lunch, but as soon as she emailed it to me, I was like, the agents will love you. Yes, order Dickies. But we'd love to welcome up the Cleanup Company for this portion. Come on up, guys.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Howdy.
We're just glad to be here. Really Adam, was our kind of, connection. And then, Brittany and then Aaron kind of just, welcoming us in. So, I mean, the amount of time we spent just prepping for this, just like all the dad joke, like icebreakers that I've thought of, just to like warm the pump, but no, but yeah, we're just glad to be here in front of you guys and for your last meeting. For the holidays, and Travis is gonna, first we're gonna just share about who we are, what we do, and then we're gonna have kind of like an inspirational kind of thing that I felt just prepping for the meeting, just to get in front of you guys, and then we're gonna just open up for some of your questions, and then go back to just connecting and not you. So,
Yeah, so thank you guys again for having us. Originally started this company in Nashville. My brother's out there and recently moved here, I did. And we were just talking, we're like, well, let's just branch out there. Business is going well down there and a lot of construction, the whole construction is booming down there, so. Moved up here in faith and just expecting that it's gonna be the same, just how we connect and stuff, it looks like it's gonna be. But yeah, a little bit about what we do post-production, production and post-production. But up here really focusing on post-production, so final cleans, have demo, duct cleaning, window cleaning and pressure washing. But right now, just really going after duct cleaning because it's prime season. Heater's coming on, you start smelling those weird odors and just, yeah, you don't wanna have that and just, enjoy the holidays, you know, with friends and family. So anyways, we're doing that. The reason why duct cleaning, like I said, just getting those odors, mold, any of that. And we recommend like 3 to 5 years getting that done every so often. And then dry vents, that's more of a fire hazard, so it's more of like that's necessity, flint, heat, doesn't go, not flint, lint, not flint. No flint. Yeah, either one doesn't go well. So we just,
Call the fire department if you have that.
seriously. Yeah, so either way, that's what we want to be, as like a one and done kind of company, one call, we do it all sort of thing. And just make life easier, not always on the phone, like, so that's who we are.
Part of our heart is really just to connect and learn your guys' business. Like when we learn about your guys' business or like, you know, say like a commercial property, we just get to like, one, learn what you need and then, you know, like learn who you are. Like part of our like heart in the company is just to build relationships and inspire. You know, because it just sucks, like working with someone who's just like, you know, head down to the ground, can't have a conversation, you know, that kind of thing. So we really want to connect face to face, you know, connect in that way. And something I was thinking about, just as we are new here in Harrisburg, is like, I'm really excited for the growth that's gonna happen in 2025. You know, there's been a lot of great, you know, great election stuff and just so much going on here, you know, in our country, in PA, but I really believe that there's gonna be so much growth. And something that I felt for you guys actually is to believe for the dreams you guys have. And there's a lot that you guys have in your hearts, maybe like Steve, you're just starting, you know, here, or you started September, you know, or like you've been a seasoned, you know, veteran for, you know, many years, you know, working with Keller Williams or another company, and now you're here, but we just really believe and really want to inspire you guys to grow and that there is gonna be some huge growth this year. And we're part of a business group based out of Life Center, our church. And it's called CREN, and our main tagline is Together to Transform. And it's really hard to do anything good on your own. And so we really believe that when we're doing things together and we're learning about each other, we're really serving each other, that we can transform not just what we're doing at work, but also like our families in this state, you know, our city. I know a lot of people, like I think one person I was talking to, Damaris maybe, she works at the Hill, right? And I have a
Queen of
bunch
the
of
Hill.
friends. Sorry?
She's the queen of the hill.
Yes, come on, that's amazing. But we also have a heart for Allison Hill and just for Harrisburg, and we really desire to like see things transformed. And so that's my encouragement to you guys, is that continue to pursue your guys' goals and dreams and do it together. And like big things are gonna happen, and you know, maybe we can be a part of that, so, yeah.
Yeah, with that, I kept hearing when I was prepping, just the word steadfast. Just want to encourage you guys with that too, as you keep going, like, starting in it, or just veterans, like, just keep going when it's hard. Yeah, and this is kind of a reminder for me as well, is branching out, something new. It's like, cool, I'm gonna keep going, keep pressing in when it's hard and nothing's showing, but it's like, cool, I'm gonna keep going. I felt the go for it with my brother and I, and we're going for it. So, if that's a partnership as well, we just want to be committed, consistent, dependable, just make life easier and just, yeah, so that's who we are. We just want to open up for questions now.
I have a question. So you mentioned ductwork. Is that
Yeah.
just for post-construction only or for existing homes as well? And how do you price that out?
Yeah, we do per square footage, but it's both. Or like construction, like new builds, or just regular residential.
Okay, and then how do we get a hold of you?
We have connections back in on the table, plug your info in,
Okay.
we have business cards,
Or smoke signals.
you know.
That was mine, because I need half of what you've done, so.
Awesome, okay.
What comes, like, do I go online or?
Yeah, no, yeah, if you guys wanna, check out our table afterwards, plug in your info, we can stay connected and,
Any other questions for them?
Yeah, so like, John and I were talking about this, what other kind of cleaning, so. I deal with a lot of residential post-production, as you would say. Well, what all kind of cleaning services, can you paint a picture of what you do and don't do, like carpet cleaning? Tell me what kind of cleaning can I expect from you guys?
Yeah, so we do like everything ranging from inside the home to outside the home, so like we do carpet cleaning. We do external like house washing, concrete, we do gutters, windows, duct cleaning, like you said. And sometimes like we're open, being that we're a new branch, we are open to like new things, so we are different, from our Tennessee branch, but we're also, similar, of course, but we believe that there's some new areas that we can, get into, and, if you guys have an idea and you want to reach out to us, like, we're totally open for, conversation and just creative things, so if you have this, I really have this issue, like, it could just be something silly, like the neighbor, their dog comes over and they poop all over the yard, I mean, and like, if you wanna talk to us about it, like, maybe we can strategize, and, I mean, like, sometimes the silliest things lead to more, and I don't know, so.
And that's kind of like in Nashville, we kind of stick around this, but then just things come up, so we have like our general labor, just like a lot of builders out there, like, do you guys do this? We're like, not yet, but we could, so we're willing to learn, but we stick around this, but then sometimes branch out.
So just to understand a little further, since I am new, so if somebody's putting their house up for sale and it needs cleaned before the pictures are taken, and they don't think they can do it or have the time, that's something you guys would do. Is that what I'm understanding?
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
We
thank
do
you.
final cleans and then just pump cleans, making sure
Yeah.
things stay the way they look. So
Okay, thank you.
Or power wash the outside.
I'll wash
Yeah.
outside.
Sidewalks.
patio,
Mhm.
driveways, yeah. Yep.
For that missing presentation.
Mhm.
Kids aren't showering, just.
And as builders as well in Nashville, as they like get more like pressure washing, window cleaning, duct cleaning, like we bring discounts to it as well, just if you guys like, add multiple parts to us, so.
Just think, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, what areas, like, how far do you go into, like, Adams, like, York County, or?
Yeah, like central PA.
Okay.
We do, we have like distances of the charge, but in this area, it's, yeah. It's-
Anything else, guys?
Thanks for lunch.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. We can make sure that we include information in our need to know on how to contact them as well. But I think just recently we had somebody post on Facebook, needing a doctor meeting, so definitely reach out to them. And before I move too far along, Chris and Tana had a quick announcement. I'll just do a little fun.
So
for all those precision TC services clients that we've had over the past year, I don't know if Brittany can do it one more time. Your gift is upstairs. For anyone else, you can take a free t-shirt while supplies last. They're up on the tables up there. They're yours to take. You can have one for yourself, your spouse, your children. So just grab them while they're there. And yeah, so after the meeting, go upstairs and we'll be passing out your gifts.
Thank you.
Thank you. So who we are, our core focus is we empower people to reach their goals and dreams. And we do that by providing a collaborative community, supporting strong families and businesses. Would anybody be kind enough to read off our new and improved core values for us today? Yeah, right now, Shannon would. And she would.
Apparently I'm in trouble again. So our core values are positivity. We're positive, we engage in positive thinking, we have positive emotions and engage in positive behaviors like kindness and generosity. We seek first to understand and assume positive intent. Integrity, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. The audio matches the video. Accountable because we do what we say we are going to do. Collaborative because no one succeeds alone. Growth mindset. We believe we can be 1% better every day, personally and professionally. Ambitious. Having or showing a strong desire and determination to succeed. Resourceful and overcoming obstacles. Chooses to have results over excuses.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Could I make a quick comment?
Please.
So I love that it says that we assume a positive intent. Because anytime you're in relationship, you always can be offended if you allow yourself to be offended. Versus thinking, oh, I might not have liked exactly the way they said it, but I know they had my best interest in mind. So that's very important that we assume a positive intent.
I love that. Thank you. We remind that to ourselves all the time. Like most of the time when feelings are hurt, it was never intentional. We're just human. And we don't always think through our ripple effect by our actions.
I struggle with that with my 12-year-old daughter.
Oh. That's life.
Toys for Tots, thank you all for bringing in toys, so that way we can contribute to our local communities and the kiddos in need. Do you remember exactly when the pickup date is?
December 17th.
December 17th. So if you couldn't bring one yet, you have until, do you know like what time? Is that asking for too much?
By the end of the day.
By the end of the day-ish, you have to bring the toys. So thank you all so much.
Don't let the full boxes deter you, like we can get more.
Yeah.
We can get more boxes
Yeah,
if we need
the
it.
box that's upstairs that's filled, that's actually from the bold class. I just wanted to bring that in there so we can see how much we've accumulated so far and try to fill the second box. So thank you, everyone.
Tony has a big truck, so we can load it up
Yeah.
with all the toys. Somebody mentioned bikes. I think, who was that bold that mentioned? Ruth mentioned that there is a need for bikes, so if you'd like to bring those in, that would be another great gift.
All those shoes collecting money for them,
There's financial donation.
Yeah, and then they'll get the
They can
bikes.
Purchase the bike.
Or that.
Yep,
which is much easier.
yep.
It's ready to load up Tony's truck.
Like, hold the bike.
Core Value Award, who could it be?
Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go over here and grab this one.
You tell me
So it's
when.
ready. Go ahead, go ahead.
I always do it too early. Come on up, Danny. Danny's like, what did I do?
He's like in shock. Who nominated Damaris? Heather, can you tell us why?
The last couple of months, did they increase them?
Stop. And who nominated Mr. Denny?
Nobody.
Yeah, can you tell us why, Beth?
Just, I've known Denny for most of my real estate career, which is a very long time. And to me, he is the definition of a core value, in all aspects. but especially the positivity over, the last several years, and just the integrity.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Time for up and get it. What you got? What you got?
To Heather Christener, because she did an open house for me on Sunday. And Jenny's not here, is she?
Yes, she's.
Oh, yeah, and to you too, because she was with her.
Oh.
They tag teamed.
I love that.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
Tracy for throwing an awesome happy hour.
I would give one to Ben, because we did, a client event together. It was my idea, and we went through it together, and he was on board and went all in. So.
Adam?
Can I give a couple? I'd like to give one to Mackenzie because she deals with all my contract bull crap and she's awesome. Michelle Steinman is just, you just are just light to me. I just love being with you. You're just so kind. You're encouraging. Yeah. And also Beth, you guys haven't been to Carlisle lately? It feels like home.
Right?
Because Adrian and I were not gonna be able to make this place look half as beautiful, and thank you. Shannon and then Kelly.
Okay, I have a couple. One to Matt, because small group has really helped me, and it's all of you people in it, but since he's the one leader, that's always super helpful, kind of re-engaging and kind of just getting into the swing of things. And then also Shanice, she is like my positivity person, and I every time that we meet, I learn from her. So it's really good.
Ellie.
Angie, it doesn't matter what time of day. How difficult people are, she gets it done, yeah, always.
Steve.
I'm gonna grab Mr. Hook right there. I'm new and he's made sure that I felt welcomed at both of the small groups that he runs at Carlisle. He gives of himself, he gives of his experience, and he really cares.
I appreciate that. That's so true. Chris?
I'd like to give a few out. First, I'd like to give one to Mackenzie and Tammy, but I'm gonna eat Tammy's because she decided not to show up today. For helping to put together, everyone's gift, for today. And then I want to give one to you for telling me to go to the EOS class, because I did get a lot out of that on that Tuesday, and, I appreciate that.
Amy?
Mackenzie, because she has helped me tremendously and, first time I'm seeing her face. So I know your voice from anywhere. I know, I'm so excited. Well, I knew you were, I know it is, but you know when you meet someone in person. And then Heather, for just, I haven't been around the office very much lately. But when I heard from her, she just scooped me in again and just, helps make me feel really welcome and needed around here, so. So for Heather.
Thank you. And then Andrew Smith in the back had one.
Yeah, just, so Beth and Shannon actually, have a listing that the comps were a little bit harder to pull for than, I guess, than a lot of other listings that I've had. And so I was kind of racking my brain over exactly how to price it. And, I kept Shannon on the phone for way longer than I ever probably should have, but.
That might be my fault.
No, so they were massively helpful, and then honestly to you and Adrian, just because obviously I'm, going through some professional transitions myself, and honestly, without you guys, I'd be a lot tougher than it is, so I appreciate you guys, thank you.
Thank you. Evan? So I'm gonna give one to Mackenzie and Kaylin. She's not here, so this. No, like the Tracy. For her help.
Quite a collection over here, huh?
Tony for painting upstairs. It looks incredible up there now, so.
Yeah.
If you didn't notice, you will find out now.
Fortunately for Tony, now that we know his skills, I have a list. For this meeting.
Lots of love today.
I know.
It's good, right? Yeah, I love it.
Any others before I get to the next
Oh,
slide?
yeah, both of you for handling my, problems, my technology woes with my website. Yes, yes, take your kisses.
Adrian can have mine. So welcome.
We do have a couple welcomes. We have, two new agents that we want to welcome in. Elisa is, working today. She couldn't make it to the team meeting, but she actually, Alyssa, right? Because she goes by Liz. She is, friends with Shanice. Shanice actually referred her to the office and she is an absolute gem. Like, she's just amazing. She came to the Women's Mastermind. Some of you might have, seen her at that event. She was, so we're really excited to welcome her. And then we also have Yvonne Deal, who joined the Hoover Lynam and Associates team. So she came in via, Judah Hoover. We want to thank Judah for making that connection for us as well.
And one thing I just want to throw it out there, because we had the realization, the leadership team just reflecting on, just like we advise you to reflect on what lead generation strategies are working for you and what's helping you grow. We were doing the same. And our number one source for growing Keller Williams Central PA is your referrals. So thank all of you who have been a part of those conversations and have helped give us warm people to talk to. We've generated like 0 leads from cold calling, which I'm sure you can feel and appreciate. So just like getting a warm lead for your business makes your life a little bit easier. We definitely welcome it as well. So thank you, Shanice, for referring Alyssa and then to Judah this month for Yvonne. It makes a difference.
It does, absolutely.
It also helps make sure that they're within culture, right? I get the side conversations every now and then, like, you're not talking to so-and-so, right? Please tell me, and I'm like, no, but when you tee it up, I know they must be a good culture fit, because if you like them, I know I'm most likely gonna like them too. So it helps protect culture when they're from within, because I don't always know what you all know. A+ Mortgage, come on up, Ange.
Hi, guys. So 2 things I wanted to plug. One, I just wanted to reiterate that rates are down a little bit from what they were a couple weeks ago. We're down in the low 6s, so it's looking good. I just quoted a VA loan that was over 300,000 at 5.75. So please, I really encourage you, if you have someone that's even under contract and got quoted something that you think might be high, just have them send me their loan estimate. I will happily, for free, I do not mind doing the work up a cost estimate comparison and see if we can save them money. If I can't save them money, which doesn't happen very often, I will be honest and say, hey, you've got a good deal, keep going. If I can, maybe consider, switching over. But I do not mind doing free work. It does not take long. I really don't mind. And that makes you look good. It helps the customer save money. It gives me money. So I think it's a win-win-win for everyone. Just be honest. But yeah, and then I did want to plug that we just did 2 FHA deals that we just closed in the last 60 days, and they were both 560 credit score. So if you have someone that was turned down FHA for a low credit score, please give us a call. We have lenders that are willing to go pretty low for FHA. So like I said, I don't mind doing free labor for a customer if it's gonna save them money and help them get into a house. Please call me. I'm happy to help you guys and make you guys look good.
I appreciate that. Remember, you can call Annie. She has a cell phone. And she does, as Kelly mentioned, she responds all hours.
And it is full peace of mind for her.
Yes, 100%. Title, they're not here to be able to necessarily speak on any updates, but if you see Ashley, can you just give her a high five? this bomb, like, just give her some love. She's been working really hard, holding down the fort. She's a huge asset to Keller Williams of Central PA. She's helped watch the front door a couple times, just like these little things that she really doesn't have to do, but has jumped in to help us in need. So just if you see her, give her some love. It goes a long way. Upcoming events. All right, QR codes. These are also in your weekly need to know. So this is your December calendar. In your need to know, if you click the button, it'll also give you a preview of January. So what's coming for Education Tuesdays. Your Tuesdays look a little full because we are launching something new. So Adrian and I on Tuesday mornings will be doing scripts and role play. We might just move it down to the training room because things got a little rowdy in the cafe this morning. A little too loud possibly. So we're gonna come down to the training room, do a quick scripts and role play. We have these exactly what to say, role play cards, so it keeps it fun, keeps it interesting. As the group grows, I envision that it's gonna be a full room, so we're gonna have to have multiple groups, right? Yes. So we'll do that to make it fun, and then we'll break right into Legion, so that way that part of the process isn't so lonely. So we'll be down here. And then you'll have break from 11 to 12, which is when your leadership team is ideally gonna have open office hours. So those got a minute, you wanna just pop up real quick, you can count on us to have open office hours from 11 to 12 on most days. I say most because every now and then we get pulled into meetings that we don't really get a say in when they're gonna be. But we're gonna reserve that time, so that way we know that we can answer those last minute questions. And then your Education Tuesday will start at 12.
Now, when you said 11 to 12 office hours, most days, you mean most Tuesday?
Monday through Friday.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for that clarification. Yeah, Monday through Friday, it's our goal to have that 1 hour opening. For those things that just pop up and can't necessarily wait for a one-on-one, down the road, because we understand that those do happen. What's a good question? Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, we realize our schedules get booked, and if we're telling you you can't access DocuSign because something got disconnected, we're like, well, I've got time on Thursday, but you need that buyer agency for a showing today, right? We want to make sure that we have that time built in our schedule to help with those kinds of things. Any other questions? Silence is enough. These real estate features are right here. We have to have that.
I didn't know that it's about doing those. Fine. We're invited to be a part of it.
Us right here at Sun Motors on December 12th at 6 p.m. Yeah. Into the real estate.
Together.
That video.
So Maddie and Lance, this has been a really big learning experience for them, but they have jumped all in on planning this event. They're doing an incredible job. And I think it's gonna be amazing. So on Thursday, make sure you do register. But if you're of any age, you are welcome to come. Keller Williams Young Professionals is ideally for those under 40, but for this kickoff event, we're all invited. So there's going to be wine, chocolate, and opportunities to network with young professionals from all across the industry. So not just realtors, they're gonna have contractors there, lenders, there's anybody that you can think of that we touch in the real estate industry is gonna be there. What I love about this is our young professionals are our future leaders of the industry. So I'm really excited to see them bringing folks together and really kicking off what I think can be something pretty incredible for that age group. Anything to add?
You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, because you probably are on the same socials that I am, but I think I saw Maddie post that there was only like 10 tickets left.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, yeah, if you have trouble registering, they might be.
How many were available? Like, how many?
Last night, it was 10 and they were.
But how many?
200
total?
total.
Wow.
Yeah, one,
Oh,
170,
170,
okay.
That's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. Amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be phenomenal. We're excited. And for us boomers, for us older folks in the room, we have a special class just for you. Bring your rotary phone. Bring that Rolodex. So this will be a Zoom session. And actually, the class is around, and we talked about this after mega camp, but it's around how to work with the challenges of every generation. So how to work well with baby boomers, how to work well with millennials, Gen X and Gen Z, and what each of their preferences are, and how you might have to tailor your conversations a little bit differently, so that way you click with them when you're speaking to them. So there was a speaker at CEO Summit. Do you remember the book, Matt?
Zeconomy.
Zeconomy, and he talked about this, and it was just mind-blowing, some of the stats that he was giving. I think Matt mentioned this in one of his takeaways, but like millennials will give you their social security number if you just talk to them through a screen. Like that trust with the screen is so vital for them, whereas older generations, like it's all about looking them in the eyes. For us millennials, we don't like that. So he talks about that in that book, and that's exactly what this class is about. So I do think it's fascinating. At least we do. So scan again the QR code if you'd like to register. That's December 17th. 1 p.m. Central Time. We are on day 2, I believe, of our 12 days of holiday cheer. This was something that we did last year. We had good response, so we wanted to make sure that we brought it back for you guys. I'm trying to make sure that a daily email goes out with what tomorrow's reminder is. And sometimes I might forget to put the attachment on there, so please give me grace. Tomorrow, we're going to have, our Hershey Kiss, guess the amount of kisses and you can give candy. We do have some stuff happening specifically on the Facebook group, so if you happen not to be able to be in the office, we encourage you still, to participate, sharing traditions, memories, recipes. We are gonna be making some pop buys. Some complimentary pop buys on the 17th. We have some holiday movies and hot cocoa and all kinds of fun stuff going on. So come to as many as you can, participate as much as you'd like, and just a way for us to sort of celebrate the season with you guys. I remember the crack open the lock box. That's fun. All right, family reunion. You will hear about this until we leave, and then you'll hear about it again when we get back. So join us, scan the QR code. So far, the keynote that has been announced is Jamie Kern-Lima, author of Worthy. She was founder of It Cosmetics. So I'm very excited about that. That's one of my favorite books that I read in 2024. I'm sure other keynotes will be announced closer to time. But don't have FOMO, because some pretty cool people are already on the list. Thanks, Michelle. You know, the white theme background. Yes. So don't have FOMO, because I guarantee if you don't go, you will when we get back. There's always incredible takeaways. Sometimes the takeaways are things that we do already know, but it's that reminder and the energy that you get from going. That helps you get that return on your investment. But guaranteed to have fun and to have just pour into you for 2025. Shannon?
If you are at all considering this and you're doing your business planning like we're all doing right now, everybody nod, yeah, you're doing that.
Please.
Think of the one thing that you need more insight on. Like, what is the one thing that would drive your business forward? And chances are good, they're gonna have 15 sessions at Family Reunion talking about how to maximize that and take it to the next level. And if you go to something like this with a plan in mind, Amy's going to how we do.
Yeah.
If you go to something like this with a plan in mind, like, look, I know there's 8 million things I could learn, but this is what will take my business to the next level. This investment will pay off in spades.
I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely go with a plan. And that's something that I can help you with. So if you're going to go, let's meet and we'll help
put your agenda together, so that way you go with intentionality. Because if you go there without that, you're gonna be lost amongst 18,000 people. Like, just let's pre-plan to make it an enjoyable experience versus winging it.
And it's still cool when you're lost, because the first year I was lost. Still fun, but probably not super beneficial.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Some quick tech updates.
Some quick tech updates. This slide probably looks familiar. We've been talking about it for the last couple months. Please just remember, we have Scott Roy Marketing as a virtual agent service center. Elizabeth is our sort of dedicated specialist. She is my BFF. And I just want to make sure you guys know, we have a specific email address, this MC652 at Scott Leroy Marketing, that goes right to our support team at Scott Leroy. So it doesn't have to filter through the main hub. At Scott Leroy, you know, they do this sort of thing for hundreds of KW offices across the globe. So this is our specific support email address along with their phone number. And then they do have the Zoom support that you can hop on as well. If you have any issues getting in touch with them, you know, connecting with them, please let me know.
And it was Elizabeth, right, Shannon, that ended up
Yes.
solving your,
She was a rock star.
She's-
I emailed. I got on one meeting with her. In 30 minutes, we solved 4 problems that have been causing me pain for 2 weeks. Game changer.
She's my girl.
And if she can teach me, she can teach it.
I love that. Shannon did warn us that she was technologically
I did, first
What was
meeting.
it?
Challenge.
Yes.
I also wanted to just, oh, Alex not here. We did a class last week on implementing smart plans. Alec was here and he was asking me, Adrian, is there a way inside of Command that we can actually track the performance of the emails that we send out? Yes, Alec, there absolutely is, and I'm sorry that I've not done a good job showcasing that. I don't want you to pay attention to the stats so much because this is an account I don't do much operating out of. But know that in your reports app, if you go to emails, if you are sending emails through Command, it will track for you how many are delivered, how many are opened, how many replied, how many unsubscribed. So if you're looking for that sort of data to help drive your business, to help know what's working and what's not working, we do have report features inside of our Command platform. If you log texts and calls, if you add the activity to every contact that you made the call, you sent the text, you had the meetings, they will also help you figure out your conversion rates. So the data is only as good as the data that we feed to it, right? It can only spit back to you based on what we feed. But if you feed it all the activities that you're doing, how many calls do I have to make to actually set one listing appointment? How many contacts do I have to make to set one listing appointment? If you feed the data in here, it will track and give you your conversion rates. I just think that's a useful tool that you may not have known was actually inside of it.
I know as a tech, when I was the tech trainer, this was the #1 requested feature. Like, nobody wanted to switch from MailChimp to Command Email because it didn't have that feature. We were looking for that conversion tracker, which is why I created a spreadsheet that takes way more work than what you want to put into it. So I was excited to see that this was finally being offered, because when I would meet with folks for tech consults, this was the thing that we were looking for. So they're listening to the feedback and upgrading.
Is anybody here using this report applet inside of Command at a high level yet? Okay, good. Okay, we'll put some more trainings together around this then. I think that's an opportunity.
And it might be featured in Tech the Halls, which will be live streamed here on December 12th. This is from, looks like 12 to 4 Eastern Standard Time. This is a fundraising event that also provides you a ton of value. So all things technology, there'll be different kind of like breakouts throughout the day, different sessions from different speakers. Do you remember who some of the trainers were? Like, these are high level Keller Williams International people. I think Mark Willis, the president, will be teaching a class.
I'm sure Donnie Brookman will be on doing a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Gabe Shaw is
Ellie
teaching.
McIntyre is teaching.
Yeah, It is free to register. It is free to register, so, you can scan that QR code, it'll take you to the registration.
I believe they just try to raise money through, like, they'll have a
They will have
QR
QR
code
codes for donations.
and you
for
can
free.
donate if you would like, but you do not.
Yes.
Speaking of free,
Speaking of free, if you haven't finished your Christmas shopping yet, and you're wondering what to get people. We do have our amazing, partnership that we have with Kaplan, where you can gift the gift of a free education, through Kaplan. This is the QR code to get this graphic. This QR code, they will complete and then it funnels in, to our system so we can reach out and connect with them. It's a $495 savings. There is actually also another class that goes along with the case for the pre-licensing class that, I'm looking at introducing. It's called KW Prep. And it's actually more of like a mindset, and preparation for real estate class, and that's going to be free as well. That's actually something that I'm gonna put out for everybody to take advantage of. It's, 17 little video modules, that Molly D'Amatos takes us through, just on, what it takes to be successful and get into the right mindset in this industry. So feel free to snag this graphic, send it out. I think Violetta, put it out on Facebook after, our meeting last time. I saw her, sharing that out, so I was excited to see that. So if you have any questions about K-Score, how it works, let me know.
yeah. easy
So would this
value
be for somebody that you know wants to get into real estate?
Yeah.
And that's okay. I
Yes,
just want to
we
make sure I
will provide a
understand.
scholarship that covers the cost of their, online pre-licensing for Pennsylvania,
Could they use it as attached to their database?
100%. 100%.
So who, maybe there's somebody in your database that has never said to you, but they've been waiting for the ask, or they've been thinking about it.
Or they know somebody,
Mhm.
feel free to share that out, yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you for creating that. Reminder to share your feedback. It is anonymous and we're gonna have a fun way to give the gift card or prize at the end. There, we get the QR code.
Okay. And my email's probably blowing up with responses.
I hope
You
so.
know
I
responses.
hope so. So just so you understand like the purpose of the survey, we get a lot of great ideas as a leadership team. We think they're pretty great. And we work really hard to provide a great experience for all of you. I mean, our whole focus is to empower people to reach their goals and dreams. We just want to make sure that we're putting our efforts towards the right activities. We don't want to work hard for the sake of working hard. We want to work hard to know that we're making all of you happy and empowering you in ways that are meaningful. So the feedback is, the survey is really to provide us that kind of feedback so we know what you find the most valuable, so we can keep doing that. We're about this close to finishing our 2025 calendar, but we didn't want to sign, seal, and deliver it, so to speak, until we knew what it was that was really important to all of you. So take a couple minutes, it does mean a ton to us, if you share that feedback. Just know, I know it's anonymous right now, but we have those open office hours coming up. We don't want you to have to wait for a survey to give feedback. If you have an idea or something that you want to talk over, come see your leadership team. That's part of our culture. We're always looking to improve. Because you don't see us implement something right away, doesn't mean that we've lost sight of it. Just as we teach you to only implement certain things at a time, so that way it's bite-sized and doable. We have quarterlies, and we look at, okay, what can we accomplish in a quarter? We really pick a handful of those things, but we keep a board full of the ideas that we've received, and we reflect back on it all the time. So I just want to make you aware that if you don't see us implement something in the next 2 weeks, it's not that it wasn't important. It's, we have a small leadership team and we're making it work, but we do want to hear that feedback because that's what keeps us going. So I appreciate it. Little housekeeping.
Check your mailbox. Check your mailbox. It's Christmas time. Yeah, the mailbox is filling up with Christmas cards. So please, when you're here today, if you have a mailbox here in Enola, check it. When you go to Carlisle, if you have one there, check it there.
Please, Andy. I'm gonna beat this one to death until all of you know and have access to Linktree on your phone, so that way you request those escrow checks on time. There's an easy button in the Linktree. So if you save this to your phone as an icon, it makes it super easy for you to access those certain resources, the ones that you're using all the time, including that requesting escrow check, as well as the link for your buyers to pay their earnest deposit online. Oops.
Can we give another easy button? Instead of doing that, just hire a TC who does it for you. Oh.
Yeah.
Shameless plug. Precision, there you go.
Let me take it.
Hard stuff.
Thank you. All right. So we're gonna hop into this training. This is inspired by, so I think I've said this probably 10 times in the last week. I mentioned a book and I'm like, oh, that was my favorite read of 2024. This is another one of those many favorite reads of 2024, The EOS Life. I read this in like one afternoon. That's how quick it is. But in the back of this book, there was like a bonus book. So 2 books for the price of 1, and it was called The 10 Disciplines for Managing and Maximizing Your Energy. And it's by Gino Wickman, the author of Traction. I know a handful of you are working through implementing EOS in your business. This is how you implement EOS in your personal life. So that's what we're going to go through here today. So the first discipline Gino mentioned is to have 10-year thinking. So oftentimes, even in the recent months, we've been talking business planning, and we're talking about for the next year. What do you want to accomplish in the next month? There's value in taking time and thinking about, well, what do you want your business and what do you want your life to look like in the next 10 years? Matt and Dave has said this to me before, but people overestimate what they can do and accomplish in a year. But they look at my little typo there, guys, but they can underestimate what they can accomplish in 10. So this is your opportunity to really dream big. One of our How I Grew series, Sinjin, sat up here, and he has a BTO for his personal life. And the one thing that he mentioned that really keeps him grounded is his 10-year target. Because when big flashy ideas and other opportunities come up and he's like, ooh, that looks like fun, I want to go do that. He can revisit his BTO and that 10-year goal, and he'll ask himself, does this get me one step closer or does it distract me? And he has turned down some opportunities because of that, because it helps him stay focused. So for you right now, I know you got some paper in front of you. If you have a pen, I want you to write down the exact dates 10 years from now. So what date would it be 10 years from now? Go ahead and write it down on your paper. We need to write it on the board. Do we need how calculated?
No.
Tracy's over here.
Tracy wouldn't make it good.
We will all be alive.
There you go.
Only my slides.
How are you?
We do the same thing.
All right, did everybody write down the exact dates 10 years from now?
Four.
So now what I want you to do, and this might be a little bit of a pill to swallow, but write the age you will be.
Killing us.
I know.
It's a lie.
25 again.
No, 73.
So now, 10 years from now, at that young age, write down the most important thing that you will want to have accomplished on that date.
Another day of hope.
Just one thing. I know, narrow it down. If you have a couple, it's all right. but at least one. I know. Trust me, it was killing me too. Kinsley will be 18 and free to her own devices. this year. I was like, oh. I'm ready
for college.
College investment properties, but no weddings. That's what I've already chosen. Those are their options.
Good luck.
I know. I'll get started. Moms know. All right, so here's your reflection. Does your current to-do list align with your 10-year goal? So what's on your to-do list right now? And does it get you a step closer to that target, or is it taking you away from that target? And this is a quote from this section, and I needed to read this probably now more than ever. But he says every 10 years, you're gonna have 2 great years, 6 good years, and 2 terrible years. If you operate on a 10-year horizon, you'll remain steadier and make better decisions. And that's because you'll be able to stop worrying about the small stuff. Because they're in the, the issue that you're dealing with today, the fire that you're dealing with today, does it really matter 10 years from now? I know the ones that I'm worrying about, they don't affect me 10 years from now. When you have that long range vision to motivate you, you can worry about the actual big problems, not the small stuff. You good with that reflection? Let's just do some writing. Secondly, Gino talks about the importance of taking time off. This is a discipline that I have been struggling with, full transparency, and I'm looking around the room. I know there's a handful of you. I'm not staring through Tracy right now. That's a struggle taking time off. So what he asks is, how many days will you commit to taking off in 2025? So if you only take off weekends, that's 104 days. So how many days will you commit to taking off? So Mike Braddock, how many days will you take off and fly to Florida and not work?
Does it have to be exactly like that? No, I'll do 20.
20 days on top of weekends?
Feel ya.
Okay, 124 days is your.
I'm not saying I won't pick up the phone, but I'm not wired that way. I'll never.
It's difficult.
Yeah,
I'll get there. I'll get there. But I get it. My team knows that they can't send me emails on my days off because I will respond. So we've done a training on schedule send. Cause I struggle.
The Wednesday before Thanksgiving, we literally, the 3 of us were like, we're gonna go to her house and have an intervention right now. Cause she's not here, but she's working, like, stop it. We love you.
You knew it was coming. I had to throw this in. You know what helps you with taking your time off? I'm blocking. And having a 411. So oftentimes, why is it that we don't take off? Oftentimes it's because we're getting distracted throughout the work week. We're not sticking to our time blocks and our priorities. And then the priorities leak into what time we should be taking off. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually my issue. There is this goal setting guide, that's what the QR code is, on how to go from using your long-term goal to a GPS, which is your 3 strategies or priorities for the year, how to convert that information then to your 411, to break down your year goal to monthly goals to weekly goals, But then the part that I felt was most valuable is it helps you then take your 411 and time block it. That's normally, when I'm consulting with agents, the biggest hurdle. They know what priorities they need to do. Figuring that out usually isn't that difficult. It's how do they translate their plan to actionable steps in their calendar. So this goal helps you do just that.
Brittany.
Yes.
So most of us, I think, would do better with things if we understood the why. Are you going to share with us why we should schedule time off?
Oh, I sure am. I'm gonna get there, Steve.
Okay, then.
I sure am.
Appreciate that.
Future slides ahead. Speaking of getting distracted, so discipline number 2 is to know thyself. You can totally tell when my dog walked across my keyboard. It happened twice when I was working on this, and I keep seeing it, and I'm like, oh gosh, that's where I didn't catch it. 40.
Oh, no, Steve.
But I love this quote. So knowing thyself is just about knowing your strengths and your weaknesses is what it comes down to, and who you truly are. So the fact is the world wants to judge us, and that squashes our light. The sooner you decide to be yourself 100% of the time, the sooner you'll have more energy. So are any of you, like when you hang out with your work group, you act one way, and then when you're with your personal friends, you act another way?
You're welcome.
Yes. Shifting that personality type can actually be very draining on you from an energy perspective. So the more that you can be yourself, understanding that, you know, there's boundaries in the professional world that you should probably keep a little tamed. But if you're constantly shifting who you are because you're worried about the perception of others, all that mental work absolutely drains you.
I'm like Tracy, you know, what you see is what you get.
We appreciate
Nobody told me I'm supposed to be worried about the perception.
And some of us live in bliss, and we are true authentic selves, and that's who we want, for sure. So here are just some ways on how you can accomplish that. One is therapy. If you, I know, it's taboo, but let me tell you. If you wanna learn about yourself, take therapy. I believe everybody should go through therapy at least once in their life. It's mind blowing. On how much you do get out of it and how much energy you'll get back because you put in the work to understand yourself. If you're vulnerable enough, receive honest feedback from people in your life. Gino, in the book, he tells you to go ask 5 people that you trust. Taking clarity breaks, so just time to yourself. And then I think another great tool that we have here at Keller Williams is you can take the Keller personality assessment. Although that's geared to try to help you figure out what roles in the real estate industry would be best fitted for your personality, your strengths and your weaknesses. It's a form of therapy, in my opinion, because you really do learn what your strengths are, your weaknesses are, what you like and what you don't. And that clarity helps you move forward. So you're not going down one path that's leading you to burnout. Instead, it puts you on the path that leads you to the job that gives you purpose. So Adrian and I, we will help you go through that process. But it's one of my favorite things to do with agents. Kelly?
I can attest to that. When I first came here, it'll be 2 years in April. That definitely was a huge help. And the question is, how do I do it again?
So email Adrian, she'll send you the test. If it's been more than a year, we do recommend you retake it.
I'd love to.
Yeah, we'll absolutely do that.
If it's been less than a year, are we able to request copies of like the report back that we get following that?
So instead of getting the report back, what we'll do is schedule a 30-minute verification meeting with you. And what that does is we're going to ask you questions. And based on those questions, we're going to see how accurate the test actually was. In that question and answering process of verifying it is where all of that self-discovery begins.
Okay.
But we would, every single person in this room, we would love to go through that process with every single one of you. It's the best thing that you can do for your personal life and your career. And we can do it multiple times.
You cannot fail it, Tracy.
Yeah.
I think too, it's also really a unique, because I know our experience with the KPA was a little unique, is that when you are going through a significant change in your life, it can be personal, it can be business, it can be just life, that where you are when you're taking that test can shift with your life experience. So I took the KPA when I came again, and then because of my life, I took it again, and it showed different because of the space that I was in. So I find it very helpful in career planning specifically to really try to focus in on say, okay, here's where I'm at right here, right now. This is what I need to adjust. This is how I need to leverage out the rest of my business.
This is why you need to hire Precision PC.
Correct. This is why. This is. Which I did. They're amazing. So yeah, so I highly recommend taking it.
Can you compare? Because that's what I look forward to the most, just to see the difference from then till now and the growth between the two and the 2 years I know personally as well. Huge life changes, so I very much look forward to seeing that. Great.
Yeah, so we would love to do that with all of you. And then lastly with that one, it's just you can't be all things to all people. So what is the one thing you will commit to? This is for you to journal. What is the one thing you will commit to in the next 24 hours to move closer to knowing yourself? Signing up for therapy.
Is that here somewhere? Is there a scanner?
You know, I should have done
We thought about hiring an in-house therapist.
Yeah. That or person.
We'll add that on the opportunity.
Dr. Seuss.
Actually, Matt wants to take that role.
You want to see somebody alter their personality.
The fourth discipline is be still. So this is gonna relate to Steve's great question about why we need to take time off. But if you could take some time every day, and whether it's meditation, it's prayer, it's silence, it's simply breathing. For the last couple of months, I've literally had a time block in my calendar called breathe. And it was so I could just take a couple minutes to turn off, not constantly feel the need to respond to text messages, like just take a couple minutes and like let my brain decompress. In the book, Gino talks about if you were to put, I can use as a jar, the only graphics I could find were a glass, so just mentally be here with me. But if there's a jar and there's sand and water in the jar, it's gonna look like this. If you put the sand in first and you pour water on top, they're separated and the water's clear. You shake that jar, the sand's gonna make the water murky and cloudy. And that's how our brains get throughout the day with all the text messages, the emails. In one part of your life, things are going super well. And then like all of a sudden this fire over here happens. You're like, I didn't even know that could happen, right? That's life. So when you take time to be still, it allows the brain to defog and that sand to settle, or for you, just all the problems to settle, and then you can be clear again. And doing that every day is great, but back to Steve's point, this is why you need to take some long-term time off, like a few days in a row, a week in a row. In the book, they challenge you, like, what would it look like if you could take a month off? And he goes as far as, if you can't take a month off, then what systems need to be put in place so that way your business could run an entire month without you?
Wow.
So maybe that's a reflection.
Wow.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and your last 2 points are so connected because what I wrote down is how to know myself better in the next 24 hours. Be quiet. Because the reason most of us don't know ourselves is we don't take long enough to stop and actually say, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? We're task oriented. So we go from task to task and then somebody says, well, how are you doing? You know, I really don't have any idea because I wasn't quiet enough to realize how I'm doing or not doing.
Yeah, I love that. I remember at one point being a young mom, like I couldn't even really remember like what music I liked. Cause like when I was in the car, like it was Frozen. My kids were super into Frozen. And I mean, I remember I would drop them off at daycare and I would get to select medical and I'd be like, oh my God, I listened to Frozen the entire way. But so now for me, like I take that, my decompression time is on my way home. I don't listen to anything. And like I have found that to be, it's the thing that helps me just relax, let the anxiety the stress from the day die down. But then it helps me transition. So when I'm taking the team leader hat off and I'm putting the wife and mom hat on going into my house, I'm able to do that because I took some time to just be silent. Does anybody, oh, go ahead.
You know what else happened, allows you to be still is precision TC services. We do good things. When we do transaction report.
That's the answer.
That allows.
Does help. We should have made you all pay for that. Part of making time to be still is knowing your 100%. And what Gino's referring to here is how many hours per week can you personally work? And then still have energy to do the things that you love and want to do. And this is different for everybody. I know some people that their max is 40 hours a week. If they're starting to work 50, they're gonna burn out. And then there's others that could work 80 hours a week and still have energy to do things that they love. Everybody's different.
When I say it's also for myself, just going through different things, like medically, that having like what I was able to do and then changing what the new, what I'm able to do, as I'm working through different things, it's just, and then giving myself grace.
I love
to know that, yeah, I can't do all the hours that I'm used to doing, so if I focus on like the 3 most important things that day, and I get one of those done, sometimes I'll look back to win.
For sure. Yeah, understanding what your capacity is in that season. You know, Shannon, as you get closer to the wedding, your work box might get a little smaller because you might need more energy to plan for that wedding to help your daughter prepare for the biggest moment in her life to date. So understanding that work container will also help you plan around those activities that you need to do, help you prioritize, because you're like, all right, this is it. If I work more than 50 hours a week, when I come home, short-tempered with my kids. And that's not who I want to be when I come home. So how do you stay in your work container? The 6th discipline is to say no and to say no often. So I think it was Warren Buffett who quoted this on here on the most successful people say no all the time.
No is a complete sentence.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It sure is.
It's a command.
And it's an okay answer. Oh, my Lanta. I'm no longer looking on the couch. I can literally picture when Daisy would like walk across my laptop and I'd be like, but how do we say no? So the reason why we don't say no, or at least I don't say no, is I tend to regret when I say no. I feel like I am not being helpful to you if I say no. And then I feel guilty about it for a little bit. But what I need to think about, and what we all need to think about is, do we want the temporary pain of saying no, right? Saying no in that moment, that regret is gonna go away in just a couple of minutes. It'll fizzle out because it's probably not as big of a deal as what we're making it in our heads. Or do we wanna deal with the pain of saying yes? And then we regret it for days, supposed to say weeks, or months afterwards. Like, I know I've been there where I've said yes, and then like within minutes, I'm like, oh my God, my life is gonna be a living hell for the next couple of months. So if it is not a hell yes, then it should just be a no. And that's completely okay.
So my 12-year-old. No means no, right?
Now, I will, I will say with my 15-year-old, I find myself, because she is like her mother and she tends to be a people pleaser. And so I hear her say yes all the time. I have started saying to her, Molly, I'm gonna ask you a question and no is an okay answer. Right? Give her permission to not have to be the people pleaser and let her know it's not gonna hurt my feelings if you don't wanna ABC, whatever. But giving people permission to actually say no and it's okay. You don't have to do all the things.
Right.
Be all the things. Yeah.
I love that. Reflect for you in your journal. What is one thing you've recently agreed to do when you should have said no?
Sorry.
Just one?
Right.
I have a good one.
Share.
Okay, so I'm in the process of reconsidering a no. And we've been the host for my husband's side of the family for Christmas. Eating dinner. I said, I would like a break this year. It's been a year. It's been many years that I'm just like, I just needed a break. I need a break. So I told my husband, you can tell them no, someone else can host it. It doesn't matter where just someone else can take that responsibility. As long as we're all together, it shouldn't matter where it is. And apparently now that wasn't an okay answer. So nobody is taking, nobody's accepting that as an opportunity to host or no responsibility to host. So now it's, yes, right, yeah. So I'm like in the process of like, should I just?
No.
No.
Stay strong.
No.
Stay strong.
Stay strong.
How can
Like the host. Yeah. You can send up. It's like, let's finish a fire hall. I'm like, we have to stay to have dinner together on a fire hall?
If it's not a hell yes.
Yeah.
They got Cracker Barrels for that.
That's take the money, it's leverage.
Waffle House.
You just have to remember, if you are a people pleaser and you usually say yes, it takes people aback a little bit when you start.
When you say
saying
no, yeah.
So they gotta get comfortable with the new you.
Yep.
And they don't always like it at first. I keep thinking about if I should share.
Go ahead, Sharon. You said it.
This might have been a conversation I could have had a couple weeks ago.
Okay, I'll share. So not a lot of you know, but I have been helping my uncle get back on his feet since like January. He had a house fire, it was a whole thing. And he just was going through the roughest of seasons. And so we were helping him and he was looking for a place. And he was staying with my mom for a little bit. And he comes to me one day and he's like, hey, Britt, like you got that spare room in your house. Can I store like a dresser or two in there? I'm like, sure. Like, go bring it over. I'm at work, but like, the codes, I'm off. I come home
Oh, no.
And my whole basement is completely
No.
filled with couches, chairs, beds, dressers, boxes of like plates and paper towel, like I have an entire house in my basement. I can't use my basement. And I think my team thought I was like over exaggerating, and then they came over to my house and they were like, "You're kidding." The whole house is filled with furniture. And that was a situation that I should have asked more questions. So it doesn't have to be no right away. It could be, let me dig into this. Like, let's ask. And then it could be a no or a yes, depending on what you get. So go layers deep is what I would recommend. But when my uncle finally found a place that he was getting rid of his stuff, he came over to move everything out. All of his stuff brought mice with it.
Oh.
Not my thing. So luckily we called Gilbert's and they came and the mice are gone. We trapped 5 mice. So great reason why you should just sometimes say no. Because
It was not.
it was not worth it. Not worth it at all.
No.
Oh, to reflect, what is one thing you should have said no to? And what's one thing you're gonna say no to? Or commit to saying no at least once this week? The one thing that our team does, what we'll do is we'll say like on Monday, is there something on our calendar this week that we can cancel or reschedule? So sometimes that's like the webinar that you know you'll get the recording for later. Like, do we really have to watch it at that moment? Or can we say, you know what, I'm gonna take this off the calendar because I'm at capacity. It can be little things like that. Doesn't have to be life changing. Doesn't have to be saying no to the uncle with bringing furniture into the house. It could be something small. Let's start there. Chris, another great opportunity. Do $25 an hour work if you want to earn 6 figures. How do you do that? You eliminate administrative tasks and you delegate and elevate. So right now, real quick, I want you to take a couple of minutes and just write everything that you can think of that you've done in the last few weeks. Like, maybe it's like cleaning the house or doing laundry, maybe it's putting the listing in bright all by yourself. Ordering photos.
Can I give a plug for Keys Please here?
Oh.
Yes.
The day I started utilizing Keys Please, my lead generation is much stronger because now I know I have reliable people to handle showings when I don't want to.
Oh, I love that. Yes, say it louder for the people in the back.
Yeah, and it's a great tool for some younger agents and newer agents to get a lot of experience. And I found they can get a lot more experience because they are not the source. They have no skin in the game. They're kind of the just showing agent, so they get a lot of experience with those clients.
And you get responses faster, like when you post it in the Facebook group, somebody has to be on Facebook to see it. But Keys Please works like Uber and it gives them an alert.
Yeah, it goes out to all the agents and
That have-
anybody can grab it.
That have the app down.
And you pay
Yeah.
them through the app. So it's literally like Uber for real estate.
If you have questions about it, we'll get you taken care of, yeah.
So once you've done your laundry list, I want you to put it in these 4 categories. Things that you love to do and are great at. Things you like to do and are good at. Things that you don't like to do, but maybe you are good at them. And then things that you don't like to do. And that you're bad at.
We're separated from.
Yeah, we're ended Friday at like 6. So now as you fill this out, I would recommend that you do this quarterly because life changes, circumstances change, you grow, you get busier, right? The goal is to continually take things from these 2 boxes and delegate them. Delegating might be to a person, it might be systematizing. There's a lot of options on how you can do that. But the goal is 1 per quarter. Like if you can take 1 thing in the next 90 days from the don't like and bad at quadrant, what would it be? For the longest time, I wouldn't have a cleaning company to clean the house for me on a regular basis. I kept thinking like fear mindset and thinking about the money I was losing to cleaning company in the back. But what I wasn't thinking about was the energy I was gonna get back, which helped me be more present with my kids, which then spilled into being able to be more productive at work. Like it's this positive spiral. And you don't always think that it's gonna affect you work-wise if it's like a personal delegate and elevate. But when you're happier and you have more energy, you will be more productive. Hence why taking off time is so important, because when you take that time to reset, you have more energy. And then when you're in your work box, your work container time, you're gonna have more efficiency and productivity because you're just, it's different than like if you're trying to work when you're sick, like Adrian was sick recently. When you're not feeling well, you can't perform at the highest level. You just can't. We're almost done. 8, this is actually one of my favorite ones. It's prepare every night. So go to bed knowing exactly what you're gonna do tomorrow. So how can you do that? Lay out your entire day in writing. This is a great time to take out that 411. What tasks do you need to prioritize? What time blocks do you need to adjust or add to your calendar? Are there any appointments that you need to cancel to help free up your capacity? If you're lead generating, what does it look like if you have your call list prepared for you for the next day? So I started adding to my time blocks, like who I'm gonna call. Because part of my problem with lead gen is like, okay, it's 9, now what? And then I found myself going back to like the same list because it was comfortable, it was easily accessible. And I wasn't switching it up enough to dial different groups of people. And then also, what can you elevate? Delegate and elevate. So your to do for this one is practice this for 1 week. And then I just want you to reflect on how you feel, because right now you might be saying, well, that's one more thing I have to do every day. So prepare every night. It doesn't have to be even an hour, like probably 30 minutes. And then see how your week changes, see how much more energy you have. A couple bolds ago, the bold coach mentioned that we like, by the time we get to work, we've already made 100 decisions that day. And some of it is like your outfit. If you have kids, it's their outfit. Like, what are they packing for lunch? What are you doing for lunch? Like all these little things that we don't realize actually take up our energy. So if you can get it out of the way the night before, you'll start your morning with more energy and more enthusiasm. Put everything in one place. Where's Caleb? I was totally gonna pick on him and his sticky notes. We're training Caleb to put everything in one place, because your brain and sticky notes can't keep track of everything. You'll end up losing it. And you'll let people down because you're just gonna forget something important. So have one journal, have one planner, one place where you're putting everything that you can go back to. And this will actually help you with that prep time that night. Because you can go through that. Was there any notes that you took that day, any to-dos that came up that you're like, I don't want to do this right now, but I don't want to lose sight of it, that you can then time block for the next day. So find that one system that helps keep you organized. I know Adrian does a great job at this. She has a to-do, kind of like what would you?
It's like a daily planner sheet that I use that
Yeah.
It's my go-to tracker for all of them.
all things, and everything goes on that piece of paper for the day, so then she knows, what did we talk about earlier, what was that to do, she knows exactly where to find it. And then lastly, his discipline was to be humble. Gino said humility is not thinking less of yourself, it is thinking of, or not Gino, is thinking of yourself less by Rick Warren. I thought this was an interesting exercise, because I think most people would generally like to say, we're humble. But on your private notepad, where would you rate yourself? And then if you want to take it a step further, where do you think others would rate you?
Don't confuse decisive with arrogance.
Right.
Can be humble and decisive at the same time.
Like, confidence too is like, I think there's a level of confidence that you can have in others that you can be humble as all get out, but you have the confidence that I know you, Brittany, and I know that you can do X, Y, Z, P, D, Q. And the fact that I know that you know, that I know that you know, that you can do it, and that I'm not gonna enable you by, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna stand my ground. That's not arrogant. That's like, I feel like sometimes arrogance is an interesting, what's the word?
Homonym?
Common?
Or antonyms?
Or, no, person, right?
I think it's like connotation with the word.
Yes.
Yeah,
The meaning of it.
yeah, I do think sometimes confidence can be misconstrued.
Screwed as arrogance, yeah.
For sure. And the reason why he has this as a discipline, is you attract people who mirror your attitude. So have you ever been in a room, or maybe you've worked in an environment where everybody's kind of wah.
Yeah.
Negative Nelly?
Yeah.
It brings your energy down when you're in an environment like that, and like when you're in an environment like that for too long, it's toxic. So that's where the humbleness, I think that's what we have going for us here at GW is our culture. When I'm having a bad day, like I want to be here because I know that the energy from everybody else is gonna help build me up. And I hope that I'm that for everybody else. Because it does play into how much energy out today. If you liked this training, there's a whole website dedicated to this effort. So you can scan the QR code for resources. Book recommendations, obviously the US Life where I got this from. Gino wrote another book called Shine that I think would be really helpful. 2 books around that silence piece. One is Do Nothing and then Think Like a Monk. That one is actually Ben Biles, not Ben Espenshade, my Ben. That's one of his favorites for being able to learn, because it's not something that you can just go do. That's what I found, like you actually kind of have to train yourself to be able to just sit with yourself and do nothing. And then also the book that kept kind of coming to my mind as I was reading this was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Last one. Like, y'all may be free. Do you have any?
No, we're not gonna free.
It's from. Oh, that's right. Do you guys want to figure out how to win the gift card from the anonymous survey?
If you filled out the survey, whether it was here or earlier this week, say that.
If you filled it out, stand up. That's tree.
Remember,
Hey, we're gonna do a real quick rock, paper, scissors tournament. Does everybody know how to play rock, paper, scissors? Everybody, do you need me to explain rock, paper, scissors?
I can't teach it.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot, right?
Shoot on 4.
Shoot on 4. Yeah. Rock, paper, scissors, paper, rock, scissors.
right? If you need help figuring out, let us know. Find a partner, just find a partner. And then I want you to go until there's 2 people left. Do it. Do it. So you, if you have to, just yeah. No point, just one. Just one.
Yes.
Okay, Tony. Now.
Here we go.
I'm still in. I keep watching, I'm still in. Come on up. Come on up. You're still in.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Vera. We're down to the last couple.
Pressure.
It's just.
Ready? Okay. At the regional meeting last week, we had a rock, paper, scissors tournament. Michelle McBride spent 10 minutes explaining how to play rock, paper, scissors, and at one point George Kelly was like, I missed you for 10 minutes. 10 minutes, explaining how to play rock, paper. See you soon, everybody. Way to go. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Oh,
It was on our KW store last year.
Like, right there with thumb wrestling.
It's kind of just-
Oh, that's always, that at least takes skill.
Yeah, you gotta.
Oh, my God.
But, right.